What's the hurry? Do I get frostbite? What's the hurry? What's the hurry? Dodge this! What's the...
Nominated, right? Can a free-to-play game be considered for Game of the Year? I'm just curious. I don't think I've ever heard of a game that was free-to-play that got Game of the Year, or at least nominated, right? Because Genshin Impact is that real deal, and I cannot express that enough. This game is the most player-friendly game I've ever played. And I play a lot of free-to-play games. Like, I'm a huge fan of the gacha games, even though I know that they are going to run my pockets, take my money. But Genshin Impact is so much more than just another gacha game. It is so much more than a haram anime game. It is so much more than a Breath of the Wild clone. And let me tell you why. Genshin Impact is a combination of all of those mentioned, but it has a deep RPG system where you progress your character, you level up weapons. I can't even encapsulate how amazingly in-depth this game can get with the character development. Like, you have constellations that you eventually unlock to be able to get better skills for your character. Each character plays very differently. Each character has their own element. There's just so much that I want to say about Genshin that I cannot fit within a short video, right? I'd be talking for hours. The reason why Genshin Impact is not just a good game, a fantastic game, is because, first off, there is no price tag here. There's the lowest point of entry is $0. You don't have to pay a thing in this game. That is very uncommon for a gacha game, which will get you in, and then the best things that you can get are locked behind a paywall, and then you roll. And so, sure, yes, there is a wish system in this game where you need to collect 10 of a certain currency that can either be earned in-game or bought, and then you get characters and weapons. Some of the best characters and weapons are locked behind a paywall. I know that sounds confusing, but let me explain. The game gives you, and it throws about 4 free characters at you pretty early on. You quick change through 4 characters throughout the game, so you're never just stuck with one avatar. You have 4 characters, and choosing which ones to combine together is very, very important because their elements synergize together. It's very similar to the spell break. If you have an ice and a water character, you can freeze enemies, right? But I'll get into that in a second. So you have to unlock certain characters through a paywall, but the 4 characters that you get pretty early on are just fine for everything in the game. There is nothing stopping you from exploring this entire map and taking on practically every challenge that this game has to offer. So you start with your own character who's a wind element, or she. You could choose your gender in the beginning. Very, very powerful character to begin with. And then you get Kaya, who is an ice element. And then you get Lisa, who is a thunder element, or lightning element. You get her very early, and then finally you get Amber, who is a fire element, and a bow wielder, so you get that long range distance as well. The important thing about elements in this game is that the environments are interactive. So just like Breath of the Wild, if you are in the middle of a field of tall grass, if you set flame to something, it's going to spread in this wildfire around you, doing damage to you and the enemies. Not only that, you can interact with that flame in a different way. So if you have your character who is a wind element, you can create a vortex that basically tornadoes the enemy and do even more damage or enhanced damage. If your character becomes wet because it's raining, or an enemy becomes wet because it's raining, you can freeze that enemy so they are immobile with an ice character. Just like Breath of the Wild was very interactive as far as like environmentals and elements, Genshin Impact takes that to the next level because the interactivity with the environment is top notch. It makes me want to keep playing the game and not talk about it. It's just incredibly fun. It's always great to try new challenges, but the characters themselves really just feel unique and different, and I love that about them. What also feels unique and different is the map. Oh my gosh, the map itself it's incredible. Just when you think that you've explored everything on the map, a new part of the map opens, and then another region opens, and then another one. Like it's like never ending. And each part of the map is just so different. What makes a map great is that it's not spoon feeding you markers. You have to go out there and explore to figure out what this world has to offer. For instance, you could be walking around the map and then stumble across a chest. Well, that chest is locked behind either a puzzle or you need to kill a bunch of enemies. Those puzzles are just incredibly fun. Like, some of them are just really simple where it's like, oh, okay, well, that was great. And other ones are legitimately challenging and make you think, and then you're rewarded with a cool chest at the end. So the world doesn't just exist for the sake of existing. It is also there and living and breathing. It feels like another element. Like, when you see people traveling on the road, these people can be attacked by enemies. And if you save these people, you get rewarded. And these are called events. And they feel so organic. So nothing about this game feels free to play to me. It all feels premium. And I did not have to spend money. There's a character that I want that is locked behind the gacha system, and I've rolled a couple times with the free currency that you get, and the game's pretty generous early on in getting you a lot of stuff, so you can get some pretty good quality pulls early. But I just wanted to throw money at this game. I want to give money to this game because I want to support the developers for being so consumer friendly here. They have options where you can you can pay. That's obvious. But I just want to really emphasize the point that this does not feel like a cheap game at all. This feels like a full $60, $70 titles if you're looking at the next gen. It feels like a full-on system where you just get a full game, and that's great. You could play co-op in this game. Like, what doesn't this game have to offer? I just played through a co-op mission for my first time, so you have to unlock co-op later on in the story. So up until about adventure rank 16, the game is single player. When you unlock co-op, you're able to play with people across different platforms. So if you're on PlayStation 4, you can play with people on PC or even mobile, and that's, vice versa. Upon entering someone's world, I realized that I can chat with them, and the chat is a little wonky right now. It doesn't limit you in what you can type, so if you have a keyboard or if you just use a keypad on PlayStation, you could definitely type it in, but there's certain words that are bleeped out, which are curious. But yeah, you're able to authentically interact with other people and chat with them and complete dungeons and challenges together, which was incredibly fun. I have some friends playing the game right now who are getting to adventure rank 16. And we plan to adventure together a lot in the future. There are admittedly some limitations to the co-op system right now. For instance, if you are in your friend's world and there's a chest, you can't open their chest. They have to open it, and even when they open it, you can't pick up the items. It's just incredibly odd. The system itself, you're able to do like the daily, it's called commissions together. You're able to do ley lines, which is another kind of daily thing where you have certain quote unquote refresh points to accumulate. But no, none of that's kind of a gotcha element there in itself too, but that doesn't feel limiting at all. You can, that's an optional part of the game that you can participate in, and you're rewarded extra for it, but you're never blocked because you're not paying money. So I would not worry about that. The game is fascinating. The combat is addictive. I can't put it down because I'm experimenting with different combos, figuring out, oh wow, this character can heal as well as create geo-protective walls around your players. The game's all about discovery, whether that's discovering how you can min-max your characters in a very RPG-esque sort of way, or just discovering what's on the map and what's out there. It's incredible. It's incredible to think of how much this team accomplished without having, a price tag that people had to pay to get into the door. So there's no reason not to get Genshin Impact. Like I said before, it's a free game. You can get it on Android, you can get it on iOS, you can get it on PC, you can get it on PlayStation 4, Switch version's coming out. Give it a shot and try to play it for more than an hour or two. Be patient with this kind of game. It's a relaxing game. The music is fantastic. The vistas, the environment is gorgeous. Just take your time when approaching this game. If you're trying to rush it, you're not going to experience it the way that it's meant to be played. So if you have some time to spare, give the free game a shot. I promise you will not be disappointed. If you're like me, you'll be hooked on this just absolutely breathtaking game. And Genshin Impact will definitely become a part of my rotation. So keep an eye on some more content here. If you liked the video, please support the channel, like and subscribe. I'd be very appreciative of it. We'll have more anime gaming content coming your way. And yeah, I'm signing off to play some more Genshin. Peace out.